Skate slid out.
Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to Patriot Lifting. Today, we're unloading some trash compactors and some miscellaneous parts. I think it's 6 trucks total. 4 of them we're going to be unloading and 2 of them we're going to be loading. That's the rumor. Remember, it's just a rumor, so stay tuned. So today we're lifting 50,000 pounds, so we're gonna go ahead and put 36,000 pounds of counterweight on and put our mats out because we're on gravel, and that's the polite thing to do. So, typical thing you gotta do when you lose your telescoping status and your cylinder's been riding down the road for a while and it just bounces around and gets lost, and you gotta wake it up and tell it to go to a section, and it's like, I don't know where I'm at. Then, and only then, you go into the left screen, reset your parameters, your settings, ABAC, then you hit enter. You Grove people know what I'm talking about. So now I'm just re-leveling the crane. It's just a little bit easier from up here, but always got to make sure my front outrigger's down. Is my front outrigger down? Nailed her first time. I don't know why I'm talking with a Canadian accent. Sometimes when I get really excited, I talk with a Canadian accent. So we're booming up to 11.6 feet of radius. Now I have that radius memorized every time when I go to set counterweights. Now my cheek weights are a little bit different radius. They're about 14.2, but for the most part, 11.6 is what we practice going to the most with both cranes. 11.6. Somewhere around 11.6, 11.8, something like that. And she'll go right on. Radiuses, you just gotta memorize them. Everywhere you go, there's a radius. And repeat radiuses, you just take note of them. Take a dry erase marker and write them on the window if you want to. That's a cool trick. When you're picking up weights like this, it's just so important. Even though you get in the realm of repetition, if you set up multiple times a day or every day, same way, guys are still on the crane, they're still on the trailer, and it's so important to take note of the fact that you can just make one wrong move with your left hand or your right hand and literally just break somebody's leg. And so it's really serious to go slow, to just take your time, go slow, and just be very methodical about what you do. And always think about where people are at when you go to lift something. Because if somebody's got their leg in between 2 weights and you go to lift it, you need to wait for them to move or ask them to move. You don't need to be picking up something to where it could be in a potential pinch point for somebody else, because they may not be seeing what you see. You know, as crane operator, we're professional observers. So we just get up, sit up here, and watch everybody else. So just keep an eye on everybody. Make sure everybody's safe. What I'm doing right here is I'm looking at my chart book, not because I don't know that this crane will lift this. I'm looking at what boom length configuration I want to use for 50,000 pounds. So basically, just an example is if I shoot that fly section out all the way, That'll give me plenty of boom to do this, but it's only good for 29,000. So, but if I shoot, you know, 50%, 50%, and 50%, that would give me 75 feet of boom, which is plenty, but it would keep it strong, and we'd be good for 53,000. So I think that's the choice we're gonna go with. So we're just gonna scope 3 sections out halfway, and that'll give us the boom strength that we need to be able to lift this. Trying to get scoped out so that we could get that truck unloaded, but it looks like they're just going to unload it with a forklift, which means that we got time to put 4 parts of line in, which is what we're going to do next. So rather than scoping back in, I've got all my counterweights on, so I'll be able to just boom down flat and just put 4 parts of line in, just like this right here. So this process is called reeving the block. You probably wonder why I've only got 1 glove on. Doing it Michael Jackson style. So we need to pull this top pin out right here. And we're just gonna slide it most of the way out. We're not gonna pull it all the way off.
I got a call from the other driver. He's about 2 hours out.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool, awesome. We're gonna take this, slide it out of the way, and stick that back in there for now. And then we're going to pull the back end out like this right here. Basically, what I'm doing when I pull it out just like this right here is just make sure that it's turned the right way. I don't want a forced twist in the cable if I don't have to. So, yep, now you're gonna run it back through the block, make sure that it's twisted the right way, the way that it wants to go. I go ahead and I see that the Beckett wants to be twisted that way, and so that's the way I prefer to do it. Where's the pin for this? Right here. Don't lose your pin in the gravel. A lot of people like to keep the pins and the keepers towards the outside. I found that there's pros and cons to both. I've actually, when I'm driving down the road is when I look at this the most. So when it's pointed inward, I can see it pretty well, but just want to give that a little bend. Not too much, just to where it won't come out. Anytime you start fooling around with the block or parts of line or anything like that, it's always good to double check everything. And so when you double check everything, you catch little things like this right here, or see this cable was out. Now that wouldn't have been good. And you guys probably saw that on YouTube, because y'all are good like that. It takes me a little longer to catch it, but that's the purpose of double checking everything. Check that pin. So it looks like all the pins are good, everything's good. So what I'll do is I'm gonna boom up, and then I'll just look at everything again, make sure that the block's hanging like I like it, and everything's good to go. So just from the top down, when we're looking at everything that's rated, we're gonna look at the weakest point in our rigging. So we're just gonna start from the top down, which is we have 4 parts of line times 17 and some change equals, what is 1 part of line good for? 17.2. So 17.2 times 4. So we got 68.8 in parts of line. So our parts of line's good for 68.8. Our block is a 40-ton block, so that's not a weak point. Our straps are good for 22,000 a piece. So 80, 2, 4, 6, 8, 88,000. So that's not our weak point. And our shackles are 6.5 ton shackles. So that would be 13,000 pounds a piece, which would be 52,000 pounds. So I would say all in all, the weakest point in our rigging right now is the shackles, which is still going to be good for what we think the trash compactor weighs, which is 50,000, which is very generous. Most of the time these guys are they shoot high on their weights, so I can almost guarantee it's going to be less. So we're at 52,000 with the shackles. That's going to be our weakest point in our rigging. You always want to look for your weakest point in your rigging when you're setting up to do a heavy lift like that, and shore it up. Just be aware of it. It's always good to know. When you're lifting something and you know the weakest point in your rigging, you're keeping an eye on that condition of that. So you want to make sure, like in our case, we want to make sure that the shackles aren't going to be in a bind, or pulling sideways or anything like that, because they're going to be at pretty much max capacity. So that's just something we're going to look for when we get to lift it. But it'll be all right. Those are just things you need to be aware of. What's your weakest point in your rigging? All right. So the purpose of us being out here today is to switch out that green baler for a pretty blue baler. Now they already have some of the parts here, but the rest of the baler is coming in on a truck that we're waiting for to unload. The purpose of us switching out these balers, I just was informed that that baler is extremely complex to switch material. Now what this baler does is it bales and compacts trash, like plastic or aluminum cans or cardboard. It compacts it into bales, and then those bales get put on trucks. They get transported to the recycling center or wherever they're going to use them at. And so with this particular baler, it is very hard to switch material, and you get a lot of waste in there too. So with this new baler and this new baler design, you're able to bale cardboard just like that right there, and then you're able to transition to plastic, and then you're able to transition to a bale of cans, and then back to cardboard again. So it makes you a lot more versatile and a lot less labor when you're switching material. So it's so cool to learn about these things. When you come to a job site like this, you just express a little bit of curiosity and you learn gobs of knowledge. It's just really cool to see how the trash industry works and is able to reuse these materials for other things that we use in our home. So it's pretty cool. So we went to lunch, had some delicious Zaxby's, and stop anytime I want. It's just good, okay? They got the sauce. So we got back, and there's a wonderful surprise here. There's a baler right here, and more parts. So we're gonna get in our office, get this thing cranked up, and get to lifting some stuff as soon as he gets it unchained. Alright, so obviously the baler's pretty long. We had to add some length to our straps. We got those flat nylons to back us up. They're good for 22,000 in straight line pull, so we just added some more shackles on. So we got our apex, should be right when we go to lift it. We got a little pallet back here. We're a little bit concerned about it hitting as the straps come up, but if it does, then we're gonna unload it with a forklift and we'll be good. So looks like to me I'm gonna be dancing around a 35-foot-ish radius, good for 55.2. So we're gonna get it hooked up. All right, one click at a time. We're gonna maintain our radius. I'm pretty aware that this thing is gonna pick up a little cattywampus. But it may not. It may not. What's she gonna do? Talk to me now. Talk to me. We got 42,000 on it. That swing brake on. Get back here now. Don't run off on me. Get back here. Get back over here. We're just booming up right now. Just booming up. Oh, but we're in the air now. We're in the air. We're good. Oh yeah, nice. Good to go. Thanks, Robert. Robert's a cool dude. You want to drive that forklift out of there? Oh, they have to put that back on. So apparently they have to ride with it. That's some sort of attachment or something in that pallet that has to go with the machine. So he can't just do away with that pallet. So they have to put skates up under this, and there's kind of a slope to the ground. All right. There's kind of a slope to the ground right there, so we want to make sure that we set this baler this side of that slope and far enough away that when they put skates up under it, skates always want to skid downhill. So we want to give them enough to where they got a little bit of grace to get by that drain right there. Easy there, fellas. So mine is about 1,500. So 46. I think he's got a little dip there. There's a little dip in the concrete right there. Can you come down some? All right, we did the heavy lifting. Now they're doing the pushing. Got their skates up under it.
Lift it up.
Forklift said no.
Yeah.
To get that in here, they'll start working on getting the old stuff out, and we'll start getting it loaded on the truck. They're gonna be doing some skating right now. Just doing a little skating. You're doing great at it. You're cruising this in here like you're parking a Prius. Trying to run away from me, are you? Get back here. Are we supposed to hook on those? Hey, are we supposed to use those middle lifting they play, sometimes they're dancing around, you know. They play a little hard to get. Sometimes they don't pick up right. Sometimes the picking points are in the wrong spot. In this case, they have picking points on the ends, and then they have those sneaky little middle picking points that nobody saw. And once we started picking up on it, I was like, man, this looks pretty gross. So we're gonna set this thing back down so we're gonna figure out something else. Found those middle picking points right there and hooked her up right there, and she good to go. We got Robert back in the flatbed in here. Set on there after we found those sneaky little picking points right there. Well, we got Robert loaded. He's gonna get on out of here. We got another guy sitting over there waiting. Get some stuff unloaded. Think we're gonna put some stuff on his truck too. Oh, I think Robert's taking some more stuff, but they might get it on there with the forklift. I don't know. We're just hanging out. Gonna lift stuff where we can lift stuff, and then we're gonna go home when they're done with us. You know, we don't know the whole plan. We don't have to know. We're just here having a good time. Beautiful day, a little hot. We got a cooler full of water though. I'm gonna go get some. Y'all keep watching. How are we gonna lay this over?
He wants you to pick it up on the other side and see if you can pick it up, go this way, and hopefully you can sit down and lay it down and then pick it up and fork it.
You want it to lay that way?
It's got to be let down in order to transport.
Yeah, but not that way or that way, but this way.
Hang line, I mean, that hang line and that one right there, that's what it's got to lay.
Okay. Here. I got a little concerned about the strap hitting the gutter there, but I think she'll do all right. A bit too much of a rush there. A bit too much of a rush. You ain't getting a rush when you're tipping stuff. Alright. That's a pretty good plan. Just gonna catch it with the forklift there. They're gonna pull that plug out. By the way they're acting, that tank might be full.
I
guess they're just gonna open that valve up and drain all that fluid.
I feel like I want to switch that way. Liquid gold. Tastes like Kool-Aid. Transmission? Yeah.
Is it?
That's transmission fluid. Very common to do that.
It doesn't stink like transmission fluid.
Looks pretty new.
Yeah.
It ain't been in a transmission.
That's a good point. I need some on my lips though. All dry. Good now. Wow, that worked amazingly well. Just so y'all know. If any of y'all got dry lips. Man, I can't wait to get home and kiss my wife.
She'll love it.
It works okay. All right, we went ahead and loaded some counterweights up. We've done our heaviest lifts for the day, and we had some time to kill, so we just went ahead and loaded our counterweights up, and probably gonna go ahead and just load the pads up while we're at it. They're getting that little bitty baler out, and then that way when they get it out, we'll be ready to lift it. We'll just set it on the truck, pack up and go home. It'll be quick. Getting a little bit late in the day. Looks like rain might be coming, so just gonna be ready to get out of here. That's all I know. Now see, if we'd have had the perfect piece of equipment to move that with, how comfortable would we be around it? See, everybody's kind of back, you know? Everybody's a little scared of it. They're a little sketched out, you know? They're acting safe. All right. Here we are with another surprise. We thought we were gonna pick that baler up. No. Come over here. He gonna load that joker with that JCB. Stout machine. Nice and easy now. I think he can get it. Little stick thing he's down? Oh, you don't want to?
I don't care.
I mean, hey, if they go down, you know.
Just let them barely off before.
You get a little ski action going. This is quite an impressive machine. That's what that no def stuff does. No emissions right here. It's bypassing in the cylinder. You better go down with it. Better go down.
All the way back. Come on.
All right, they abandoned that project. So he's gonna pull out and they're gonna roll that baler out here. We'll just lift it with a crane. Kind of surprised that lift to pick it up, but we'll see how much it weighs when it gets out here. Oh, is it gonna make it out? Yep. Made it right out of there. Oh, easy peasy. 19,000. 19,000. Well, folks, we're done. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. If you saw us doing something wrong, be sure and put it in the comments so that we can correct it. It was fun. Everything went well. Everybody was safe. Got everything done. It was easy. And we beat the weather, because there's a real bad storm over there. So we're gonna get out of here and head on home. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. See y'all on the next one.